Isn't it crazy that so many married men absolutely hate their lives? I've watched it for decades. All they want are two simple things.
And their wives know exactly what those are. How could we not? They only want peace and a consistent peace. This sounds super easy. And it is. Until, women and their silly games. Unfortunately, most wives use these two basic needs as an opportunity to manipulate and control their men. For example, she wants something, but he doesn't agree. Does she talk to him about it like one normal adult to another? Of course not. She chooses to disrupt his peace by nagging him until he gives her what she wants. Now, if he gives it to her, it's just to shut her up. We all know that is a horrible reason. But this type of woman is so selfish that she doesn't care or even notice the damage it does to him and the relationship. Now, what is her go-to move if the nagging doesn't work? Yep, just withhold sex until he gives in. Doesn't really matter to her. She doesn't care about him, his needs, or the relationship. She only really cares about what she wants. Why is this pattern so common? This disgusting reality happens so often that no one even blinks at this situation because these behaviors have been so normalized. Why do I use the word disgusting? What else do you call a person who treats someone so badly when he is only there because he wants to protect and provide? So yeah, disgusting is about right. What do you call it?
Belief systems.
Here's why this happens. 1. Pure selfishness. Selfish wives don't worry about what husbands need, want, feel, think, etc. 2. Low-level thinker. Humans have different levels of understanding about themselves, the world, and, most importantly, how their behavior impacts others. The lowest levels think of themselves as the main characters, and the rest of us are NPCs. 3. Zero-sum mentality. These people are aware that others have needs, but think resources are limited, so they hoard as much for themselves as possible. We women who have figured things out understand a few very basic laws of relationships. Being caring and considerate of our husband's needs is the best way to give them what they need so that we can get what we need. What we do directly impacts our husband's well-being and his ability to be the best provider and protector he can. What this looks like in real life. Ascending spiral. A descending spiral is more common in relationships. We do what's called the ascending spiral, which is when we give freely of ourselves, more of our husband's needs are met. So he can give more freely of himself, which meets more of our needs and allows us to give more freely of ourselves, which, you get the point. The path forward. How to make some progress. Step 1 is already done. You watched this episode and became more aware of this situation and some of its causes. Step 2 is to figure out the root cause of her behavior. Step 3, make a plan to address the belief systems that make her act the way she does. Step 4, put your plan into action.
Isn't it crazy that so many married men absolutely hate their lives? I've watched it for decades. All they want are two simple things.
Isn't it crazy that so many married men absolutely hate their lives? I've watched it for decades. All they want are two simple things, and their wives know exactly what those are. They want peace, and they want consistency. It sounds easy, and it would be, until you factor in the silly games people play. Unfortunately, too many wives use these basic needs as an opportunity to manipulate and control the man they promise to love. When she wants something and he doesn't agree, does she talk to him like a normal adult? No, she chooses to disrupt his peace by nagging until he gives in just to shut her up. That is a horrible foundation for a home. A woman who does this is so wrapped up in her own desires that she doesn't even notice the damage she is doing to his soul. And if the nagging fails, the next move is predictable, withholding intimacy until he breaks. She doesn't care about his needs or the relationship, she only cares about the win. Why is this pattern so common? It's become so normalized that no one even blinks anymore. It is a disgusting reality to treat a man this way when he is there specifically to protect and provide for you. It comes down to pure selfishness. These are low-level thinkers who see themselves as the main character of the world, while everyone else, including their husband, is just an extra in their story. They have a zero-sum mentality, hoarding everything for themselves because they think resources are limited. The women who have actually figured this out understand a basic law of nature. Being considerate of your husband's needs is the best way to ensure your own are met. We call this the ascending spiral. When you give freely of yourself, his needs are met, which allows him to be a better provider and protector. That in turn makes you want to give more. It's a beautiful cycle, but it requires you to drop the me-first attitude. You aren't starting over, you are finally waking up. The first step is awareness. You have to find the root cause of why this behavior started and address the belief systems that made it okay to treat a partner like an enemy. If you are 40 or 50, you still have 30 years of life left. Do you want those years to be a silent funeral, or do you want to build an empire together? Stop being an anchor and start being a partner. Now get to work.